Well, good morning, 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 my friends. What is up? It is your friend and pal Seth. My pronouns are he and they. I want to welcome you into your morning inspiration, your morning inspiration video for the day, y'all. It is also Monday. It is Monday, y'all. What do we call Mondays around here? I call Mondays mindset, motivation, and momentum. I just started adding that. Mondays. Okay, so I will take the opportunity to wish you an incredible, happy mindset, motivation, and momentum Monday. Ask you what kind of mindset are you going to go? Are you going to go into this day with? How are you going to stay motivated and also build that momentum as well? All right. So in addition to it being Monday, it is also inside of these videos, it is also weekly recap time. Okay. And last week, we had an incredible week to start off the month of December. Okay. So this week we're going into the second week of December, but last week, y'all, it was good. It was powerful. It was hella yeah. Okay. So what did we get up to for last week? So we started off the week talking about setting goals for December. So I figured we literally like last Monday was December 1st. Okay. So we were kind of talking about kind of setting smart goals for December and beyond. I talk a lot, on videos and everything. And one of my taglines that I end almost every video with is focusing on your amazing, huge, big dreams and goals, right? And setting those huge, big dreams and goals and everything is always amazing. And it's always a great thing to do and everything. I think also, setting those smart goals, making sure that they are smart, so specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time related. I think is also something that's really, really important, especially if you're someone that gets overwhelmed easily, and I know I'm one of those people. Um, so being able to set smart goals and breaking those big things down into smaller, manageable tasks is, I think, really, really important. All right. So we started off the week kind of by, talking about setting, the smart goals for December and for beyond as well, because 2026 is right around the corner. Okay. And I'm still kind of I'm like, seriously already? Wow. Anyway. Ooh, there we go. Another thing we had talked about last week was about kind of setting boundaries during the holiday season and all year round. This is the time of year, where, there's all sorts of, family get togethers and a lot of things kind of going on. And, with the holidays and everything, we a lot of those amazing feelings come. But, also, the uncomfortableness, I hope that's a word. If it isn't, it is now. The uncomfortableness of being, with certain family members and everything, that can get kind of difficult. And getting together with family that we may not want to get together with, right? So being able to kind of set our boundaries for ourselves and for others kind of during the holiday season is also something that we were talking about last week and everything. And setting boundaries is important, any time of the year, but I think also really during the holidays when there's a lot going on and everything, I think is also something that's really, really important. All right, so that's another thing we talked about last week. Another thing we kind of talked about last week is kind of the value of our past. Okay, how much value do we put on our past, especially if we have a past that's full of trauma? And how much value do we put on it as we're trying to move forward in our lives? And also this idea of kind of giving ourselves permission to move forward from past trauma or negativity as well. And I think this is something that's really, really powerful. A lot of us, we may have had, past, or we may have a now, that's filled with trauma and some negative moments and everything. And I think one of the keys to helping me move forward, and again, I'm only speaking for me. If this also relates to you, please do let me know. One of the things that has kind of really helped me to move forward in my life and in my healing journey is kind of looking at my past and looking at the lessons and everything that I can take out of, specific things that happened. And again, that is not always an easy thing to do, and everything. And it takes a bit, and it took a while for me to actually figure out, what meaning and value and what lessons can I take from this awful experience, you know. But I think once I've been able to, I think it's something that has really kind of helped me to move forward. So that's another thing we were talking about last week, and it's something, as I said, that's really, really powerful. All right. Another thing we were kind of talking about last week is this concept of mental health masking. And it's kind of centered around kind of the same concept, pretty much kind of acclimating ourselves, to things going on around us, because again, just hiding away our emotions, hiding away kind of how we're feeling or what's going on in our lives, in order to, number one, fit in, with everything going with everyone else going on around us, to fit in, and it's something that's really, really powerful. All right. So we're also talking about mental health masking, as I said, and kind of how, the effects that can have on us, and how we can start to pull away and start how to kind of bring that mask down, in certain situations. With some people, they find that they have to mask, especially, as again we were talking about setting boundaries during the holiday season. So they find that, with some people, a mask is good, or a mask is very helpful. So it's kind of one of those, pick and choose moments and everything. So that's another thing we were talking about last week. And another thing we were talking about last week is setbacks. Okay. And I call this the art of the pivot. Okay. How we can take specific setbacks in our lives and everything and figure out ways to kind of move forward. Again, looking at it, kind of changing our perspective on them and moving forward, thinking of a setback as not just a setback, but maybe as a comeback. Taking the lesson we can learn from it and figuring out a way to use that in order to help move us forward. So in addition to that, y'all, okay, we have our affirmation statements, and our affirmations from last week were incredible. They were powerful, and there were a lot of them. All right. So I'm going to go through these. These are some amazing, amazing affirmations. And if you have any affirmations that you use on a daily basis and everything, and want to include those in here, definitely let me know in the comments. All right. So here are pretty much the ones from last year from our incredible participants. And I think a couple are from either myself or another co-facilitator, Will. All right. So I am moving towards my goals. I am stronger than I realize. I am better than my anger, my frustration, and my suffering. I am generous to myself. I am full of gratitude. I'm going to eat healthy today. I am making mistakes but learning from them. I am free to do the things that inspire and interest me. Those are powerful right there. I am capable of pivoting by still recognizing the difficulty of where I am and have a new outlook. And I am moving towards something positive. Okay, I'm still just like, wow. I mean, a lot of those affirmations from last week, those I am statements last week were really, really powerful. All right. And as I said, if you have any that you use on a daily basis, any affirmations that you use on a daily basis, and you like to share them, let me know in the comments. All right. Because I am affirmation statements are really, really powerful. They really, really are. All right. So that will really about do it for your morning inspiration, your morning inspiration video for the day, y'all. If you would like to join us for group today, join our community practice this morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You see a little ticker on the bottom. We meet this morning at 10:30 a.m. EST. Okay, so if you don't have the link, if you'd like to join, let me know down in the comments or get with me on social media. I will get you the hookup. Okay, so there we go. All right, so I said that will about do it for your morning inspiration, your morning inspiration video for the day, y'all. I will say, don't quit before the miracle happens, my babies. Find ways to keep moving forward because you're amazing. You're worth it. Let's join hands, do this together. Okay. I will also say, stay positive, stay motivated, stay focused on those amazing, huge, big dreams and goals, my friends. All right. So thank you so much for watching Morning Inspiración, your morning inspiration video for the day. And I will see you. Hello, cutie. How you doing, honey? You doing good? It's Monday. You doing good? Yes. Okay. So I will see you in the morning inspiration video for tomorrow. Thank you so much. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye-bye.